I'm going to ask for your forgiveness while I actually read what I wrote, because there are so many wonderful people this evening that I wish to recognize, and some of you I know better than others, and I certainly don't want to wake up at 3 o'clock this morning saying, darn, I meant to say this. So it's all here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pauline Proch, and I am the Executive Director for the Nantucket Community School. Thank you. It's my pleasure to welcome you here this evening to our 9th Annual Advocate for Children's Award. Just to give you a little bit of history, 9 years ago, we felt very strongly at the community school that all of you who are working with children and really making a difference needed to be recognized, and more importantly, needed to be thanked. So the first year, we nominated Jean Hughes, who had been the director at Wee Whalers for 30 years, and we filled the American Legion, I think, with, 100 people, and I'd say 50 of them were at your knee height. A little bit different from this evening's event. But we felt it was important to sort of give back to the community and have an evening where we can recognize, and hopefully you'll get to learn a little bit more about one another. I am thrilled to say this evening that we have a wonderful array of individuals. We will celebrate our recipients and recognize that they are a diverse group who touch the lives of our children in a number of ways. Some light the stage to build confidence. Others light their minds to discover. Some light their way to keep them safe. And some light and ignite their imagination. Some light the world before they are even born. And yes, some even light their mouths to keep them healthy. It is our turn tonight to shine the light on them. For your interest, I will go in order of the brochure, so for the recipients, you don't have to wonder that I'm all of a sudden going to call on you. So you know when your time's up. Jackie, where's Jackie? There you are. Hi, Jackie. When you walk through the halls of Nantucket High School, if you are fortunate to run into Jacqueline Normand, you will be sure to be greeted by one of the biggest smiles that you have ever seen. Jackie's eyes wide open and her beautiful wide smile is a sure sign that she loves what she is doing. Her gentle spirit, mixed with a genuine caring and understanding of our youth, is just the recipe for success, to reach and assist in educating our students. Jackie has a particular knack, and she connects to those who normally would slip through the cracks. She has a watchful eye and will take steps to engage and support in non-threatening ways. And she does this each day as a teacher's assistant at Nantucket High School. Several years ago, I happened to walk into the auditorium and I was looking for Jackie. I needed to ask her something. And I found her up on stage, which wasn't necessarily a surprise, but it was a surprise to find her surrounded by a group of somewhat wild junior boys. And they were really, in no better way to describe them, because I hope none of them are here tonight, really just prancing around the stage. They felt awkward and their motions were sporadic, and they were trying to get in step and to follow the ever-patient Jackie, who was attempting to teach them some dance moves for the up-and-coming Junior Mister Show. Wow, I thought, she's got a lot of patience. Over and over again, Jackie provided the same instruction for the moves, and then she changed it up a bit, giving different directions in a different manner with an example from her. The boys awkwardly and somewhat frustrated took an unannounced break. Jackie turned around to see me and gave me her usual signature smile. There was not an inch of frustration to be found, even though she was only days away from the event. Jackie, you've got guts. It is an honor tonight to recognize you this evening, and I'd like you to come up and receive your award.
Wow, I didn't think that was going to get to me so quick, but it did. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jacqueline Normand. Like you said, I've been at Nantucket High School for 7 years now. Such a great experience. I think all of us are here tonight because we love working with children. I can say that I do, from the little ones from 3 years old, where I taught the dance program at the community school for 3 years, up to those junior and senior boys who I dance on stage with every once in a while when I have time. I think the biggest thing I want to say is it's an inspiration to be with all of you tonight. I'm inspired from all the work that everyone being honored here tonight, and I'm sure everyone who's just sitting here tonight. If I knew all of your stories, I'm sure I'd want to take a piece of that away and use it in my life. And I'll continue at the high school, after school, working with the community school, which I hope to do in the future when the time gets a little bit more, trying to earn a degree in social work and continue, to work with our needy kids on island, just to make their future bright and do all I can do for them. So thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here, and really the inspiration is you guys. So I can't wait to hear all of your stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you, honey. Kevin. VIP, Volunteer in Police Services Coordinator, Crime Prevention Officer, Elders Affair Officer, Bicycle Safety Officer, one of the school's resource officers, and Patrol Sergeant. There are many titles that Kevin holds. Boy, that must make for quite a business card. I prefer to call you Kevin, or Cheeky Rascal, which is what he is most of the time when he is around me. Kevin, you have what it takes to be successful to reach children. Your playfulness, relaxed, and humorous approach can be just what it takes. Yet, when needed, you are serious and take charge and receive the respect that you deserve. You have a unique, admirable way of gaining the respect from your youth. Your energy is unlimited. Your heart is big. Your vision and wish to teach and train our youth to make healthy decisions and healthy choices is admirable. Today, our youth are growing up in a world that is so much more serious than when we grew up. Today, a wrong choice can lead to so much more than just getting a curable disease. A wrong decision today can give you an early death sentence. You work with your peers promoting action and awareness, PPAA, through our high school and middle school, and it is an incredible program that truly allows peers teaching peers, which can be powerful. You have continued and revitalized a long-standing program. You have infused your energy in unique ways to reach our kids, and you are passionate about the mission to keep our kids safe. You encourage and you educate, and you make sure that the best possible choices are there for the students. Your recent trip to the State House to introduce your students to their state reps introduced the power of advocacy. The full-day training that you provide for PPAA is to include education concerning sexually transmitted diseases, HIV and AIDS, hepatitis, safe choices, and healthy decisions. And you give them tools on how to say no, and they're just a few of the gifts and opportunities you give these children. You take your role seriously, And the biggest thing I believe that you give them is your time and your willingness to share your passion. You are to be admired, Kevin, and I'm sure glad you have chosen this path. Please come up and get your award.
How could I say anything better than what she's already said? She's truly passionate about it. It's an honor to be here. It truly is. I never expected it. There have been some great people who have received this award. All of them are great. Anytime any one of us can do something good for the children on this island, it's well worth it, and it allows us to all receive awards at some point. But in the profession that I'm in, I get to see the children that make mistakes, and I call them mistakes because it's not the end of the world, and we have to remember that. And to be in a position that I can teach them how to make proper decisions, how to fix the mistakes that they've made, is what keeps me going. I believe every child deserves that, and the island's been very good to me to allow that to happen. So thank you for allowing me to be here tonight.
And here's your gift. Roxanne, nice. Where are you? I'd like to see you. I see you. Okay. I'll let you stay seated for a minute. Boy, if there were ever a huge heart, it is deep within you, Roxanne. I'm not sure if you know this or not, but you are well known around the island by families and children for having a caring heart. You are described by others as that nice lady, a kind lady, a lady who everyone knows. Kids smile when they are asked about you, and they say, yeah, she's nice. You are kind of a Pied Piper. In 2002, you came to the island to work seasonally as a tour guide, but you were not ready to set your roots yet in our sand. Your travels have taken you to all kinds of interesting yet difficult placements, where you have put yourself out there time and time again to help others. You have worked on the Cape in a private residential home for girls as their dorm mother. You have worked in a residential home for special needs children. In Fall River, you found yourself being the house mother to juvenile court-ordered youngsters that needed a home, and different reasons you found them within your care in the residential home. Your work at Latham Center for girls who had been sexually abused, as well as your simultaneous work at the Cape Detention Home for boys under 18, won you the title of Tough Chick. But that is far from what we see. On our school buses, except when the law needs to be laid down, you keep control of your bus, yet you ensure an environment of care and safety for all. And there is not a bully that would be foolish enough to try anything on your route. And if they did, your students know that you would take care of it. You have earned the respect of your riders. You have seen it all, yet your gentle and caring demeanor comes shining through. You take the time to know everyone's name. You ensure that everyone uses good manners, something that gets lost all too easily today. You have that certain special something that when people meet you, they get it. Your work at the Stop and Shop, I'm sure, is always interrupted as you busily greet the happy faces that delight in seeing you. You continue with driving for Mariah Mitchell during the summer, which brings you continued connections with children. Life has had its ups and downs for you, but I have to say, our up was when you decided to make Nantucket your home. As you said, a piece of your soul is here on Nantucket, and you are a true treasure, Roxy, and I'm glad I got to know you. Please come up and get your award.
thank you so much, everyone. I'm very nervous, and this was so emotional what she read about me. It's all true. It's all true. It is all true. And I am a tough bus driver. I do say please and I do say thank you, but do sit down. Someone said to me, like, wow, you're really going to be nice to the kids now that you're nominated. And it's like, no, I'll be the same one and the same person. They're going to have to be nice to me now that I'm nominated. And please sit down and say thank you. I've been through a lot, and it's who I am today because of what I went through in my life. And I remember like 4 years ago, a new principal arrived, and he would be standing on the sidewalk every morning saying hello to the children. And I was like, wow, if a principal can come out of his high school and say hello to the kids every morning and just stand there, and the kids don't even pay attention to him. They just walk right by him, they couldn't even care less, and he says, have a good day, have a good day. And it's like, wow, I can do that too. And since that time, every time the kids get on the bus and get off, I say to them, have a good day, thank you, have a good day, how you doing today? And the kids, if not feeling well or something's happening in the bus or they feel they're being bullied, which happens a lot, they feel comfortable enough to come and tell me about it. And we take care of it on the bus right away before they get off the bus, or we talk about it, or I have the kids talk to each other and apologize to one another. So saying please and thank you from the adult community, and for us to look at them in the eyes and say, how are you today? I think it's really important, and we need to carry down that around the island, you know. We have a very important job here, and we're so special to be on an island and be able to have that kind of effect to our kids. And I think it's important. And congratulations to everyone that won. And thank you for nominating me. I've been glowing all week long.
About 6 years ago, I received a call from Ellen Gould, who proceeded to ask me if I were the person who was trying to get dental care in the schools on Nantucket. She had heard that Nantucket was exploring how to get care on the island for children who were either covered by Mass Health insurance or those harder to reach students who were without insurance. Why, yes, I said, I am the very one. Well, she said, I'd like to help you work on that project, and I'd like to come over. I was a little skeptical because usually people want to come to Nantucket when it's July or August. This happened to be February. I'd love to come today, she said cheerfully. Well, great. Come today, I said. I met Ellen from the boat, and we had a cup of coffee and learned what she was offering to do to help. It was honestly, truly, my dream come true. Here was the answer. Can do this. Here was the answer to probably years of research, seeking for care, trying to get somebody who would come in and take care of our children. Ellen was offering the care at no cost to Nantucket. The team came over and started at Nantucket Elementary School. And her first year, she saw over 250 students. I can tell you that over 50% of those students had active decay, or caries, as we say in the business. I've become quite dental, haven't I? Caries. Who knew? Each student was offered a dental exam, a cleaning, sealants if they needed them, and they also got oral hygiene education. For those children that they found who were in critical care were linked to an island dentist immediately. The goal for the program is not to come and take away from the island dentists. The goal is to bring children who are not getting seen into an environment that is non-threatening and fun. I've never actually quite seen so many children getting their teeth cleaned, having so much fun. They have these big old glasses that they lay down, and they have the sunglasses, and then they get toys. And sometimes we have to watch to make sure the children aren't going around in circles to come back to sit on the bench again, right? The best part of your program, in my eyes, is it is available to every child. There would be no stigma of the Mass Health only children getting services. Over the course of time, Ellen and her team now see preschool students all the way through high school. Each year, I ask if she could add another group of students, and she's never, ever said no to me. Ellen, I, along with our families, are thankful that you provide evenings for our special needs families to visit you in case the school environment doesn't work for them, and you treat everyone with kindness and respect. I can honestly say, after working with you for 6 years, you are one of a kind. You work hard, you expect the same from your team, you are a go-getter, and I believe the words "I can't" are not in your vocabulary. What you have done for Nantucket is simply short of amazing. You have taken what seemed to be a daunting task and a huge gap in services, and it seems like you almost did it overnight. You made it happen. I can honestly say you have made a difference to the lives of our children. Ellen, you are a true advocate at heart, and I'm proud to call you my friend. Please come up and get your award.
Thank you very much. What Pauline didn't include was when I called her originally and I said, do you want me to come over and do you want to meet and we can talk about a program? Her first reaction was, we're an island. And I said, yes. I live in Chatham. And I said, I'm coming up to exit 7. I can either get on the ferry or go to Boston. And quite frankly, I'd rather go to Nantucket. And I would rather be on Nantucket any day. So although I'm not an islander yet, I'm working on that. I am honored, that I was considered for this award and really honored to be part of this community. Thank you.
You're welcome. Gail. You are absolutely in the right profession. There is no doubt in my mind, and probably in many others, that you were meant to teach. Your patience, your kindness, creativity, innovative teaching style is part of what separates you from so many. Children are not fools. They may act like one at times, but they truly cannot be fooled. There is no fooling with you. Your genuine love for teaching, your knowledge, and your commitment to teaching what is developmentally appropriate for students is part of what makes you connect so well with them, I believe. After your move here from Florida to accompany your husband, Charlie, who was hired to be the head of school for the Nantucket Lighthouse School, you were soon put to work. You have often heard that the school got 2 for the price of 1. You have taught grades from kindergarten to 8th, and shortly after your arrival, you were hired to be the director of the middle school. Along with board members and staff and parents, you developed and built what we now know as the Nantucket Lighthouse Middle School, and it's housed at St. Paul's. You became the head teacher, and you have helped develop a very special program that I believe for each child that has been touched by you educationally will take away a little something special that will stay with them forever. I believe it's called self-esteem, self-confidence, and a whole lot of love. When you were asked about your philosophy on middle schoolers, you said, and I quote, Each child should feel respected and appreciated for who they are, how they learn, and where they are in their development. Their differences are to be celebrated and recognized as what makes them special and valuable human beings. The best learning takes place when their physical, emotional, social, and intellectual being is in harmony, thus working with the whole child's well-being, inside and out. It's all a part of our teaching and their learning. Adolescents need to be active learners through art, drama, writing, experiencing outdoors, and through their communities. Working through adolescence' uncertainties of friends, relationships, beliefs, and understanding who they are as individuals is all part of their education. You also say the thing about middle schoolers is their honesty, listening to their thinking and their reasoning, and watching their sense of pride when they have worked hard to accomplish something. You are one of the most compassionate people I've ever met. I know you treat each and every student as your own, and in your eyes you see the uniqueness of them all. They know that. They know that you truly understand them. Your easy-to-approach style makes you accessible. In the short time you have been on Nantucket, you have gained respect among your peers, your parents, and your students. You are someone that people can go to, and that was evident with what we witnessed over the past few months when, your heart already broken, you took on the task of being strong for your students at the loss of Bradford Garrison, our most beloved Spanish teacher. I personally watched as you poured every piece of strength together, and you stayed committed to be of comfort to whomever came to find you. You helped us all travel through a very difficult time. Gail, I am one among many that are so thankful that you made Nantucket your home. You are one very special lady. Please come up.
Artwork, my favorite. Thank you. How lucky am I and every other teacher and person who works with children? They light up every single day. Thank you. 2 years ago on August 1st, I came to Nantucket not knowing it well except to visit good friends and hit the ground running, so to speak, calling and meeting as many people as I could to get to know the Nantucket community. As with any new creation, there was a period of disequilibrium, followed by excitement, adjustment, and a plethora of hard work by many. The parents and teachers came together to make St. Paul's Parish House our new home by cleaning it, turning it into a healthy, comfortable, cozy environment for our students to live and learn every day. Students chose classroom colors, which the parents painted. They scrubbed windows, dragged furniture down deep stairs, laid new carpet, hung whiteboards, put new tables together, fixed drainage systems so windows would not leak, and many other volunteer tasks. And at the same time, the teachers set to work planning curriculum, digging in their heels. Thus, we were ready to open with our 11 7th and 8th graders, which amassed to 14 by the end of the year. Drawing from our island's professionals, learning from the community was our major theme. Sarah Octay at UMass, Andrew McKenna Foster from Mariah Mitchell with the help of Janet Schulte, Emily McKinnon from the Land Council, artist David Lazarus, and Randy Hudson, and various businesses in town. The NHA, Don Costanzo put together our literary magazine, speakers of interest as Joe Hale, Chris Fuller, and Jean McDowell. And the list goes on with seeming endless cast of our talented contributing Nantucket professionals, all giving to our children's education and welfare. What an extraordinary example of our community coming together for the sake of our kids. And for this, we are very thankful. My love of children and fascination of how they learn has been my sustenance throughout my adult years. I love their individual styles and unique ways of learning and expressing themselves. I love their innocence and honesty and purity. I love their questioning when in doubt, their thirst for knowledge, and their aha moments when they suddenly understand something new. I love challenging students to stretch themselves, accomplishing something that they thought they couldn't do, and they did it, and feel a sense of accomplishment. I love their laughing jags and their humorous moments. I love to talk to them through their early adolescence uncertainties as they search for who they are and who they'll become, as well as their questions about life in general, such as one they asked recently after a current events discussion: are there more horrible things going on in our world now, or am I just getting older and understanding more? Every day is a challenge to meet their needs, and every day is a gift to be a part of their lives. The Nantucket Lighthouse School thanks the parents, St. Paul's Church, the greater community, and of course our dedicated, creative teachers for being a part of our viable and healthy new middle school that has blossomed into a caring, stimulating environment for our children. Thank you.
Don't take my speech, I'll be lost. John and Gabrielle. The mission of the Theatre Workshop of Nantucket is to entertain, enrich, educate, challenge, and to inspire performing artists and audience of all ages. Between the work of both John Shea and Gabrielle Gould, I would argue that they do so much more. Since they became a team for Theatre Workshop, they have built and uncovered dreams that were just that until they were brought forth an opportunity to experience and discover what it's like to delve into the world of make-believe and imagination. Through your work at Theatre Workshop, you offer this opportunity at little cost, allowing for any child, truly, to have the experience and discover what it's like to be on stage. This experience for any child shows interest, but we know that it's not just about performing. We know that it's so much more. It's about relationships. It's about going outside of your comfort zone, pushing yourself to levels that you never knew existed. The feeling of exhilaration when you nail that part. The pre-show nerves, bonding with others that you may never have had the chance to have been together before. Your gifts to our children are easy to understand when we take a look at your background. Gabrielle, you have been on stage since you were a little girl. You know firsthand what it's like to be an inquisitive child, hungry to learn about the theater. Your relationship with Nantucket is a long one. You've been coming here to the island since you were 4 years of age to visit family. Your summer jobs on Nantucket, in fact, helped pay off some of your college loans while you were waiting tables. When September 11th hit, you were based in New York and you happened to be in downtown Manhattan. Your decision after that was to take some time and spend it on Nantucket. This action led you to meet your future and now present husband, Brent. After running Cambridge Street for a while, you offered your skills to Small Friends as Director of Development. You then made your move to go into a new direction to join forces with Theatre Workshop. Your partnership with John came next. You both make up the team of artistic and executive directors for Theatre Workshop. With the partnership with John, you both have a special place and a special role for the children on Nantucket. John, your history goes back to the 1960s, which when I read that and I looked at it, I'm like, I really don't think it's the 1960s. I don't think I should write that, but you did confirm it. So you must have been like one. I think you and I were born in the early 60s. And you found your way to what was the former Straight Wolf Theatre. Chatting with you earlier, I was kind of funny because you did actually say that you thought perhaps being an altar boy was really your first chance to get up there and perform, and there was a change of money some way or another. Would never have thought of it that way, but you have both directed and acted in movies, and you've written screenplays. You have and you continue to have extensive acting career. For you to want to offer to share your time and talents with us is truly a gift. You are one of the founding members of Nantucket Film Festival, and you have touched many other avenues on our island. We are fortunate to have you call Nantucket your home. For your children, our children, to be able to work with you, it's truly an amazing opportunity. Thank you both for giving back to the youth of Nantucket and providing such a strong team for Theatre Workshop. Please come up and receive your awards.
When John and I first teamed up, we had the task of planning our first season, and although Theatre Workshop has always done something, usually one show a year that had a lot of children in it, we wanted to grow that and make it bigger, and we talked about doing a lot of different classes that were very affordable to anybody on the island, and then we talked about Peter Pan, and we said, you know, it's a great musical, and I'm more of a musical person than John is, and he said, oh, well, you know, do we have to fly him? And I said, well, yeah, it's not like we're going to have him like jump up in the window and go, you know, here we are. So we went to our very remarkable board and said, you know, we're going to fly Peter Pan and it's going to cost us gobs and gobs of money because we have to bring in a fly team from Las Vegas, of all places. And everybody sort of shook their heads and said, I don't really think we can do this. Our theater is very small. We don't have a lot of fly space. And within 3 months, we had 5 of our island youth flying through the air. And better than that was opening night and watching Peter Pan fly through the window and hearing every little kid in the audience gasp. And this was not in August. This was in November. This was in our off season. And that confirmed our belief that we can do a lot for kids here year-round and that we can get all the schools involved and we can have all the kids come. And the only heartbreak I think I've seen in the last 2 years is when you have 120 kids walk in and do so well and get up there and sing and dance their little hearts out, and you realize that your stage, it just isn't big enough for all of them. And then you have someone like Laura Gallagher Byrne who just says, well, I know you only wanted 20 kids in this production, but I'm going to put 50 kids in this production. And somehow we build and rebuild sets and actually accommodate them all. So it's been an amazing journey. And I know for myself, where we are with Theatre Workshop makes me want to stay and raise my children here. And that's a good thing. So thank you.
Yay. Sorry to turn my back on you over there. you're in the wings in theater terms. You're sort of backstage with us. Hello. I've lived here for 40 years, sort of as a summer person coming and going because I always lived in New York or LA. But I am so happy to be living here year-round right now with my wife, Melissa McLeod, and our 2 children, Miranda and Caden, who, are living proof of what Nantucket does for children. And the longer I live here, and the more I live here year-round, the more I realize what a multifaceted gem we live on. And for those of you who are year-rounders, you know what I'm talking about. But I didn't honestly, Pauline, I didn't understand what the Nantucket Community School did until you and I spoke. And it's obviously a fantastic organization that touches the entire spectrum of ages on this island, from little children that we happen to be honoring tonight, but to senior citizens. It's an amazing organization that appreciates your support tonight and deserves it in the future. Part of the mission that the Theater Workshop has had since we've been working together, Gabrielle and I, is to work with all of the organizations on this island. And by that I mean, there's so many of them. And so we have forged liaisons with the Athenaeum, and I know there's an Athenaeum table here, and with the NHA and with the African Meeting House. And if you have an organization and you can imagine working with us, please come to us, because we're all about teamwork. And so that brings me to my next point. I mean, hearing the story about how the kids get on and off the bus. I mean, the Theater Workshop is a big bus. I would say that Gabrielle drives the bus, and I'm the guy over her shoulder saying, let's take a left here, maybe, let's go right, or whatever. But this bus is filled with people. And so we are here, obviously, to accept this award on behalf of our organization. This organization is made up of hundreds of people. I mean, I can think of 100 actors who perform in our plays. I can think of our board of directors, our president, Joe Hale, and his wife, Susan, are here tonight. And thank you so much, Joe, for you and your board support. But I can think of also our designers, our choreographers, our musicians, our the guys who are carpenters who come in to build our sets, and everybody who's doing this for free to support theater on the island. And did any of you in this room see Oliver this past, you know what I mean, right? So what it takes to put on Oliver is tremendous amount of money, and the money comes from our board of directors and our other benefactors. And then it takes a fantastic support creatively from all the other people who donate their time and energies. And then it takes the community here to come fill our theater and to complete what it is we're trying to do. Which is to keep theater alive on the island and to touch every aspect of the community, and most particularly the children. I mean, Ted Gottfried is here, my buddy, the gardener back there in the back, the great one, right? Ted knows better than anybody that seeds need nurturing to grow. And so what your great organization does is that it helps those seeds. And my little kids are part of those seeds. One day they'll grow up into big trees on this island, and you and I and everybody in this room will be long gone, and these children will be standing here getting awards of their own. And so, we keep that in mind every day, and we give great thanks for everybody, because this is a fantastic island, and we're so happy to live here. So thank you so much, Pauline.
Sonny, what a gift you are to our community. One of the most special moments in a parent's life has to be the birth of their infant. It is intimate, it's powerful, and it's bonding. To be invited to share that experience, you have to be a pretty special person, which you are. In order to do your job well as a doula, you must be caring, thoughtful, considerate, compassionate, kind, level-headed, and calm. And I believe you hold all of those qualities. In 2004, you moved to Nantucket, as many do, on the hopes that the job that has been offered will actually follow through once you have committed to pack up your family and move from Kansas. Once your family became established on the island, you took evening shifts waiting tables at Arno's, while Greg, your husband, stayed at home with Kalian and Orion. This was a decision to benefit your family because it was important to you to continue on with your education and obtain your childbirth certification. Working shifts with your husband working days and you working nights was not easy, but it was the right thing to do at the time for your family. Once you were finished with school, you worked at Nantucket Cottage Hospital, and shortly after that, you became certified as a doula. I know many of you are probably whispering, like, what's a doula? I'm going to let you find Sunny later, and she can answer that. You take your role seriously and thrive in your environment of providing education and labor support to your moms. You continue on as a breastfeeding coach, and from what I can tell, you make yourself available to your families whenever they need you. You smiled when we were chatting about getting the calls in the middle of the night. It is not a burden to you. It is clearly what you love and what you are fortunate to be in a field that you are passionate about, and that comes across clearly when you speak to you. So Kalian, keep that in mind. When you call her in the middle of the night, she doesn't mind. She smiles. Just keep that thought. You are an advocate for healthy eating, and you live by example. Even if you do buy organic Oreos, at least you're still buying cookies. You have been titled a super doula by your moms, and the support and caring that you have given will never be forgotten. That bond will live forever. A little piece of you will always remain as part of the fabric of their family, and what a credit and honor to you. Please come up and get your award.
One. I have a big mouth, but I have the best job in the world. Just to clarify, I really do get excited when people call me in the middle of the night because the birth of a baby is what started everything. Started it all for all of us in the work that we do. It definitely started my life and my career. The birth of my daughter was the greatest thing that ever happened to me, and I, could wax poetic on it, but I won't because she's in the room. But, the birth of a baby is the beginning of a family, and I feel really grateful that people do invite me into such an intimate place in their lives. There's nothing like that moment. If I could bottle it and give it to people over and over again, I would. But it's Christmas times a million. So to be able to do that for work is pretty awesome, and I really am just so grateful to the families that support me and allow me to be part of that experience. And for those moms that call me at 2 o'clock in the morning with a crying infant in their arms and saying, how do you do this? That's what I'm here for, because somebody did it for me, and I'm happy to give it back. We're all on this journey together. It's not easy, but it's well worth it because we raise the next generation. And I'm just very happy to be able to do that on Nantucket. So thank you. And where's Francesca? She nominated me. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Don't forget your gift. Sonny? A little gift. Got so carried away with your cake.
I know.
My friend Karen. Truly, Karen, it gives me so much pleasure to stand here tonight to honor you. You have been such an important part of so many children's lives. I know you have touched many, many hearts. Originally from Rhode Island, you thankfully found your way to Nantucket. You arrived on island in a 1950s Ford pickup to an island that was abundant with a community of hardworking and intelligent hippies. Even though you and Carl were just maybe a little older, your philosophy and politics blended in well. Carl started carpentry, and you began your career as an elementary school teacher. You taught in 1968 at Academy Hill as a first grade teacher. And then you went in 1970s and taught at the Coffin School on Winter Street, along with another beloved teacher, Jane Lamb. This time you were teaching kindergarten children in a half-day program. You advocated in a 1998 letter via the editor your concerns if the day extended to a full day, that your students would be pressured to become more structured and have less time to explore. You hoped that adults would continue to take the cues from children and build upon their interests, giving precedence to first-hand experiences and real materials. You were worried, and you stated to be wary of standardized curriculums that promise the world. You loved the curiosity of your students, guiding them, yet letting them figure it out all by themselves. You have always been an advocate for children, lending them the opportunity to get outside of the classroom, to take trips, and have real experiences with hands-on work. Your 30 years of teaching at the public school is a gift, and it will be treasured for a lifetime. Oh my gosh, the number of students whose lives that you have enriched, whose hearts and minds you have opened, are immeasurable. You retired in 1996 at the sadness of many a parent who was secretly hoping that their child would have the good fortune of having you as their teacher. Your husband Carl passed away in 1998, and it was then that your daughter Catherine saw an ad for a library associate at the Athenaeum, and she encouraged you to apply. Several times in our conversations, you have said to me, "Thank heavens I did. Thank heavens I applied." And I would probably guess that the table sitting there are saying, thank heavens she applied. I know that the staff at the Athenaeum love you and admire you. You have become an integral part of the children's library. Your love for children cannot help but shine through you. You greet each child as though they were your own. You seem genuinely happy to see them, and you engage them by helping them either find a book, you recommend a book, or you just have a simple conversation, but you recognize each and every one of them. Karen, I am so happy that you made that trip in your 1950s Ford pickup, and I feel fortunate to know you. Please come and get your award.
I won't say much. First of all, thanks to all of you for coming here to honor us. That is wonderful to see all of you. And especially thanks to Pauline. She's done so much with the Community Network for Children, and look what it takes to pull something like this together. So let's give her a hand. Yeah. I think I'll just say one more thing, that working with Nantucket children has really been a core value of my life, and it's been a terrific run, and I hope I can keep doing it. So,
Thank you, Karen. Here's your gift. Here's Mary. You see Mary? Okay. Hey, Mary. Are you still awake? Good. We all come into this world with our own unique path. For some, they will encounter tough times. We cannot wrap our arms around our children and protect them from harm. There will always be a child that is witnessing domestic violence or has been sexually or physically abused. Their life will change forever. Yet that does not mean they cannot and won't grow up to be a healthy young person and eventually a healthy young adult. But in order to do this, most will need help. There are angels among us who purposely choose to make their life work, to work with children who have been traumatized. And Mary, you are one of those angels. Mary, you have a calmness about you that is reassuring. Your open heart and open mind, along with your caring, compassionate, listening, and desire to help others, gives you the tools that make you the ideal counselor. Parents remark that you are easy to talk to and that they can tell that you genuinely care. You are approachable, yet still maintain the level of professionalism that your role requires. As a wife and a mother of two and working full-time, you went full force ahead when you realized your wish to get your master's in psychology. You traveled off-island for many months in order to chase your dream, and you did it. It is admirable that you were able to stick with it and still maintained your roles and responsibilities here on island. That takes a lot of planning and dedication. You are an educator and you're an advocate. And when it comes to children, educating those around you in order to have a better understanding of the laws, understanding what it takes to be a mandated reporter. You take your knowledge and education seriously, and you're always willing to share and help whenever asked. Besides your work at a safe place, you have a private practice, counseling, where you get to continue and share your knowledge along with your love of guidance and support. We are glad that you took that step, Mary, for the sake of our children and for our community. You are well respected and a much-loved staff member at a safe place, as well as being recognized in the community and among your peers as simply one of the best. Please come up and receive your award.
I won't take too long because I know everybody's probably starving. I want to thank the community school for this honor and Kat Robinson Greeter for nominating me. I've had the pleasure of working with her for the past 12 years at a safe place. in many capacities, and I appreciate this very much. I love the work that I do. It's very important work here in Nantucket. A lot of people have a hard time understanding that Nantucket is not free from domestic violence and sexual assault because it is such a beautiful place that we live. And I feel very fortunate to be here. Sorry, my voice is dry. To be a part of this island. I'm a native, and I come from a big family. I love children. I've always loved children. I'm the 9th of 13, so I was the great aunt that got to babysit everybody. And that's when my experiences started with children at a very young age. And I just have a great appreciation and fondness for children. And I think that all children deserve to be safe and free from the pain and suffering that I see happen in a lot of families. So I really appreciate the awareness. The support for a safe place is very important, and I'll probably continue doing this work for a really long time, but Sunny, watch out, because someday I want to be a doula. Thank you.
Mr. McKenna Foster. Several years ago now, the community school started a teen summer camp. We were looking for some fun and exciting activities for them to do. Perhaps some trips that maybe were a little off the beaten track I had in mind. It was suggested that I contact Andrew at Maria Mitchell. After our initial conversation, Andrew invited me to Maria Mitchell Museum to see the exhibits and to discuss a program that we might be able to join force with. I find Andrew in the basement, happily moseying around, looking at all kinds of weird and wonderful things. We got talking about what he was thinking as a program, and he gleefully said, yes, the burying beetles. I said, what? He says, we can go out and bury the Beatles. So I said, great, let's do it. The kids will love it. So when I said, what about the rare beetles? He said, this is perfect and great stuff for teenagers. Well, to make a long story short, although it is a great story, I took a group of 11 teenagers along with their counselors to meet Andrew. He arrived in a pickup truck, very hairy, and the kids were like, wow, man, dude, look at that guy's beard. I can promise you, not like how he looks tonight. Off we went on a very bumpy road, and to who knows where. I still don't know today where we went. The adventure had begun. Once we arrived at our destination, the kids jumped out full of excitement. For some, they had never been to this part of the island. And I just shared this with Andrew just the other day, that 2 particular girls in our camp literally shook with excitement because they shook as they said they had never seen anything as beautiful as what they were seeing at that moment. It was an incredible thing as I watched Andrew start working with the children. Andrew, along with his interns, met our students and engaged them in a very short time. He involved them in every part of the task. Andrew explained about the beetles and their rareness and produced the quail. Yes, I didn't mention the quail. There was quail that was going to be buried among with the beetles. And this was genuinely an enjoyment to watch the children with their curiosity. And the kids were kind of giggling, but they couldn't wait to get their hands dirty and start digging the holes. I was taken with the skill and interest that Andrew showed. Andrew has his master's degree in environmental science and policy, and he started to work full-time for Maria Mitchell in 2010. He is in charge of research, exhibits, mentoring, facility upkeep, education for elementary-aged children and their families, and animal care. Is that all? You got him. I think you got him beat. Maybe not. His ability to reach and educate children is all natural, which is amazing and lovely to watch. As he told me, I don't have any academic experience with kids. You may not, but you certainly have a natural gift of teaching and connecting. Andrew also oversees the volunteer aspect for Mariah Mitchell, and through your efforts, Andrew, you have cultivated an environment that is conducive to learning, along with being fun, welcoming, inspiring, and creative. Andrew, you truly are one of a kind. And I believe that you don't quite see yet all the qualities that you bring to working with children. But I am certainly glad that your co-worker did and put this nomination in for you, because you truly are a gift to our community and to our children. Please come up and get your award.
Thank you. I'll try to remember everything I was going to say. I forgot my 25-page speech at home, so I'll be really short, though. I first of all want to echo some of the previous folks and thank Pauline and the community school for putting this on and recognizing all of us here. I'm really honored to be here. And I'd also like to thank virtually the entire staff of Mariah Mitchell and a lot of the board who came out tonight to support me. We're taking over these two tables up here in the front. And you can see that, to do what I do here on Nantucket, it's because of the support of this organization that allows me to do that. And they really just let me do whatever I want. It just so happens that what I love doing is along with the mission of Mariah Mitchell, so that's great. And I don't have any experience with, working with kids before I got out of college. And I got here and I started learning from everybody, from people at Mariah Mitchell and from people in the community. And so really Nantucket has made me who I am today when it comes to my interactions with children. And I just, I'm indebted to that. All the folks at conservation organizations and the schools and other community organizations who I've worked with over the years, unwittingly, a lot of those people were mentors for me and teachers to me. And then Pauline had asked me a question, something about what I like most about teaching or something, and I didn't have an answer right off the bat. It takes me a couple days to think of answers to questions. But it came to me that the thing that I really enjoy is kind of along the little anecdote that Pauline told. I love it when a child, or anybody really, even myself, is confronted with something completely new and unexpected, especially if that thing is something that they see every day. So spiders, for example, I love spiders. A lot of people hate them. But when a spider hater is turned into someone who loves spiders after they hold a adorable jumping spider in their hand, I love those moments and I live for them. And these days, it's to the point where I will put aside all my work and responsibilities and put them off into the future in order to be part of those moments. And Janet, I hope you were chewing on ice or something. You didn't hear me say that. I do my work, but I love being out doing education with kids in the outdoors and with animals. And it's all due to folks like you who I get to work with all the time. So thank you very much.
Well, that wraps up our presentation. Let's go home. Oh, no, just kidding. Just kidding. The buffet is at the back part of the room. It is a two-lane or two-way buffet, so please make sure you help yourself both sides and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.